I have a feeling I've talked about this before, but let me give it a shot anyway. Let's make this strain of cannabis where you make every single chemical component that is active in any form of cannabis plant that is consumed. And you make of each single chemical found in them a 100% purified tar and offer it to like test subjects and see what the reactions are. And you make a concentrate which is 50% of the opinion of the test subjects to be more positive than negative, and they write down symptoms, and you make value charts of what is positive and what is negative, and you have all kinds of moods and stuff like that. And you breed out all the ones that at 100% purification produce unpleasant symptoms, and you leave the rest and breed them in to replace the numbers of the ones that you breed out. What would such a weed feel like? I believe, based on a hunch, that it would not be as psychoactive, it would not produce as deep thoughts, it would not be as cancer effective as an anti cancer, and there would be some other negative changes associated with it. But I also believe that it would be very effective at pain reduction. That I believe it would be very efficient at. I believe it would be very efficient at that. Okay, so here's Lambda. We're talking about my plan to quit smoking. It's proceeding well. I am going to go to the store in my next visit, which may still be today, since I get money, and buy 5 pouches and put them on this sieve here, and run hot water through them until they are completely clear. The water that runs through them, like make sure that it's actually washed. Because if I don't, I have to smoke this stuff, which contains a enormous amount of toxins. Because if you put one of those bags in a sieve and plug up your like kitchen sink and just run hot water through it while you like turn it around with some kind of like spoon or something, you will notice how much dirt there is in there. So it's supposed to be smokable, not. Now, once you've done this once and you have the thing dry and you take a tiny bite of tobacco, you smell what tobacco should be, not what it is after adding 5 million chemicals. That tobacco, I can stand smoking, but in general, I cannot stand smoking. I need to take a long enough break for everything that I have done and consumed to wash out of my body. There are still some psychological changes which need to be gone through after some hardships that require me to be truly sober, but they also require me to be truly independent. And to be truly independent, I require to have the willpower to make the small gradual changes into my life standard that bring me up to the level where I can actually inhabit an apartment. That is because I had an enormous stroke because of the drugs. I will one day talk about it more, but I will say that it felt like I turned into a bullet and I tasted some kind of purple lollipop at the top of my mouth. There was no pain. However, about 2 or 3 weeks later, I got an enormous headache on my left side. I called an ambulance and they said they don't come for headaches. So that's your afterlife. Yeah. Then a while after that, I was homeless. Such is life. Coincidentally, it's also almost identically timed with the Crimea conflict first time. Almost perfectly timed with that. I was unable to put it into words or in any way ask for help. I had instinctively sought help from people, but I was unable to verbalize what was going on. I later realized that the closest human analogy is actually a stroke. And once world events coincided enough, I realized what was going on. Then explaining what I saw, what I thought was the reason why I saw it, and my ability to remain somewhat coherent after I realized what was going on to the doctor who made the diagnosis, which is why we know what's going on. So the damage control is actually doable. Once those go internal, then it's done. There's still some resistance to build up and actually live in society by coordinating that resistance. To be one person amongst many who resist each other, still willingly from time to time choosing not to resist, but in general resisting. That would be the point. Choosing not to resist when you're around the people you care about, but otherwise not being in the flow. When you have a moment and you decide to be in the flow, it takes a while to realize what the flow actually is. In terms of others, it's brain damage. They're not seeing you interact with them. Oh, while I can see the benefits of a high serotonin intake diet for a personality like me, it is not through these medications. Now, having come to that conclusion, which is what we're talking about with Lambda here, I've come to the conclusion that of all the narcotics I've tried, there are a few general options that I might want to try. Uh, I have considered SSRIs and SNRIs, but they have some side effects based on watching people who've taken them, which is my only basis for making any kind of value assessment. They have certain side effects which I'm not very content with, but as a last resort, I might seek them. And I do know that what you'd call THC-based cannabis is a no-no. It is something that I will not take as a medication because it distorts your sense of time much more than it distorts your sense of reality. And I am a person to whom time is valuable, so I would prefer not to waste any more of it. But CBD content is a possibility. It seems to not distort time. It seems to not give you enough of a high to make time distorted, while it has a very nice dulling effect. It takes the vitotus off. So that is what I'm aiming for. But I do know that I have a psychological addiction to the act of smoking, being able to control my mood by when the mood goes sour, taking a hit. I have a psychological lever upon my soul, and that I do not like because the soul tends to become more vocal about its rights when you are being very controlling of your body's physical actions. It tends to become more vocal. So the more control you have, it ends up being less control you have because you tend to end up rising because of it, not lowering as you should. That being said, that being said, uh, CBD might be acceptable. Tobacco without washing is unacceptable. The chemicals evident in when you wash tobacco, when you truly wash it, it makes it clear that it is not something that I want to do. Once those are out, I should be able to essentially quit at any time. If I'm addicted to unwashed tobacco, then no. And my prediction on why I would not be addicted to washed tobacco is that if I smoke washed tobacco, I have, regardless of the amount I smoke, a slight sensation of tobacco withdrawal consistently, not being on tobacco, but a slight consistent sense of tobacco withdrawal, similar to smoking, well, old tobacco. So I am thinking if the wash tobacco allows me to quit tobacco and the CBD allows me to quit THC, then I'm looking at an outcome where if I at some later point decide to smoke, I have a substance that I can smoke that does not cause addiction. And then I can be considerate about it while I am on the long pipe. From the long pipe, then I would say no. Quitting for a longer term than just for a tolerance break is required to essentially wake the brain from the coma, which is why I am strongly in favor of going through this process. I have indicated that if I do not, after considerable effort, which I have stated to have started about a few months ago, if I, in a few additional months, do not make progress, then I need to ask the doctor for medical intervention in my tobacco problem. They will sign me to a rehab, and I will tell to the rehab clinic that my problem is tobacco, not weed, and I will quit it because I will quit weed. And if they have me smoking tobacco while I walk out of there, I will consider their thing a, false thing. If I still smoke tobacco for the next 10 years, I will die of lung cancer in two. I know my lungs and how much I cough. My problem is the amount I smoke, which is caused by the tobacco. If I smoke pure THC, I smoke 2 or 3 hits a day. At my current budget, oh yes, we were very rich, honey. That's my Amber Heard. Though it's not pooping on the bed, it's me pooping in the purse. But that's a inside joke. realized she had started smoking tobacco and told her that if she doesn't stop, I'll take a dump in her purse. We can all estimate what happened afterwards. I was very upset about smoking tobacco. I do not like it. Honey, if you have a couple of beers throughout the day, you're fucked. I would understand Earl Grey. Yes, we're having an episode. Stress. And you wonder why I like space. Oh, here's me having hair. What does it look like? A samurai face. We need to do the samurai thing and glue this here. Ja, en bänke på. Running by. And then that's a legitimate hairstyle of that one. I know the difference. You know why I know the difference between this and everything else that I can wear or do. Any other combination of clothing causes very mild change. If I have a cap on, people are, well, they're normal, but if I have this on, I guarantee you people talk to me. It's like putting on makeup. I'm the inventor who finds a cure for everything. Here's my cure for baldness. See, it takes a certain amount of courage to go through the initial steps, because the first step is going to have your hair this long with baldness here, so you can make like braids at the side if you want. It's going to be the first step. Then eventually you get to this point. And then you just go like, do you realize I feel hair on top of my head? It feels like there's hair there. It's incredible. The thing is young. It's amazing. Anyway, deep thought. Deep thinker. So, space crash. Speaking of space. Speaking of space. This is recording again. No idea if this even shows, but I'm playing Eve here. I'm making sure that I collect all my daily rewards. So at least like log in and, you know. Oh, I feel a million. Something must have been sold. Wonder why. I have a market list of goods for sale for about 200 million. It's stuff that's 50 to 80% discount for the most part, because it was in various storehouses across places. These storehouses that I keep at are locked as being safe, like only by the storyline writers making events, and then they usually have like a clear list of stuff, these systems are going to be in risk, and these are the odds of what's going to be happening. So these are safe and player interactions. So here are all my goods. This is like basically like showing my bank account. Come on. Okay, actually worth like more being sold than reprocessed. I almost never sell any of the stuff that I pick up. I almost always reprocess it because I can use the minerals to produce other goods. Okay, this is the loot from the missions. I have this newbie tree here that they added like within the last 5 years, and I've been playing this for 15 years, so it's been added since I joined, and it has like these bonuses that I haven't played through, and some of these are really simple missions that you have to do that I wouldn't really bother with in any condition, and that some of these have even had kind of like negative influences on my like overall goal in the game. But basically, it's like it's pretty important that I get these done, but I'm trying to humanize them as much as I can. So let me show you like even this guy probably shouldn't accept this mission. Let me see who it's against. But there is a level 1 security agent as the only agent available to me in this station with an effective standing of 3.1. I have like 4 agents that I'm specializing in raising to 10 out of 10. And I'm like, what's the word? Gosh darn it, what's the word? I'm trying to keep them at like every level having at least one guy, or specifically one guy. Most of them are actually women, but one guy. So I'm requesting mission, and the enemy faction is not one of the factions that give you a negative standing for doing security missions against them. So it's somebody who like consists of their entirety in this one, and it's a convoy escort mission. Let's do this. And there's 2 anomalies, both of which are with a faction that whose security standing I prefer not to lower. So not doing either of those. Did a couple yesterday, but really shouldn't do those. Like on a normal day, I do more than I've done in the like 2 3 weeks I've been in here in like in a day. But I seriously reduced the level of my security involvement. It's very involved in raising my standing with the Federation, but I think I'm high enough. I can actually do something else. Something mining. I have this Amarian corner with the lowest tax rate and moderately high availability of like services with all the services that I'm using on this player build station and mining an asteroid field directly next to the station. It's a very nice thing. Oh, here's anomalies. Here's drone assemblies. Now, drones are what you'd consider self-replicating viruses, in my opinion. Now, they're not in any way specifically targeted in any other way or like any way other than they tend to like pop up everywhere, and we as clusters can pop up. So it's like what you'd call rats, with the exceptions that, as far as I understand, there are uh, rat uh, containment parks. So like rat safe zones. So drones are not, while they are like basically despised, I think the game logic is telling, as far as I can like kind of like understand this mythos, is that drones aren't in as such bad, but in this particular region of space, they spawning everywhere and then being not contained is bad. So like Serpent is somebody who you'd consider a criminal corporation, but who the U.S. has very recently taken a rather strong interest in, especially. And the Serpent is basically at a war with a couple of uh, what you'd consider like basically fan groups of the like whole game, and they're like almost akin to a football game at this point, and uh, and they're not really a boogeyman group. They're more like a mafia style group almost. They're not hated everywhere, for example. None of these groups are hated in high security space everywhere, except I think the drones safe clusters are all mid security or low security or no security, I think. But I'm not sure. So, of these 7 missions that they're offering, the 5 Serpentis missions are out. So, drone cluster seems okay. Okay. There's a group of drones that have attached themselves to a habitation cluster and are trying to like destroy it, which evidently means there's probably some sort of civilian life that would be harmed by the drones destroying the thing. So let's fly there. There's probably already somebody doing the mission. No, this one's empty. Hello there, drone. And started firing. Residential habitation module, which these drones have overtaken. That's the mission description here. So, what is everybody seeing? Am I doing some kind of air raid on a civilian region that these drones are protecting, or is this a where the humans are inside this residential habitation module and the drones are trying to break in? So, is this like me arriving mid the encirclement scene in Aliens 1, or even before that when the residents were in the last sector and we're putting those chairs down that corridor and, you know, is it that situation and then arriving on a drone battle cruiser and just blasting the aliens, the xenomorphs, to be politically correct. So, or am I appearing in a cloud of Wallies and Eves and then randomly just going berserk, which is a more accurate description? I would really like to know. Some say some and some say others, but I do know that lowering your security rating with any corporation causes real world harm. Which leads me to believe that since these missions do not lower security rating but have the same mechanic where you harm someone, it is roughly the same action but without someone being targeted of whom others care. So then we come to the question of rats. While some people care about rats and you would get a security rating negative if you just went on the street with a crossbow and started hunting rats. But if you imagine something that would be universally accepted beyond any kind of currently understandable universal acceptance of no harm to any group. I'm thinking of caricatures in terms of what we see such a group to be. I'm not seeing reality. I'm seeing opposite caricatures. So hello there, drone. Zip, 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 zip.
The capacitor is empty.
Brody. Okay, so about 5 to 10 minutes into the combat on a drone boat. Now I need to recall my largest drone because it's starting to look a tiny bit damaged. Did they knock out one of my combat drones? It's very much possible. Did I really dare? Yeah, knocked out one combat drone. Nice. You want to bet that if I take my scanner ship out and look for drones, I'll find my drone. Want to bet? Fine. Okay, so that's both anomalies. consider the thingy to have taken one sample. It's the one drill. You are allowed guys. Reach into mission. Warp. Warp.
Warp drive active.
I am not feeling like shifting through that right now. Please just allow me to do these trees of security missions under these conditions until I get to the level 5 agent, and then I can sign off the rest of the security missions and do that at my leisure and earn just enough to buy a couple of cans of soda a day. That would be nice. Interesting. You're getting a bit too big. So good to hear. Konvois nouseeko? Gracias. Now I'm almost done with all these security missions. That was 2 anomalies and 1 level 1 security mission. All of them against corporations that do not have any friends anywhere, or groups, or such. You can infer from a situation who might be. Okay, so the destination back to the Agentus is.
Warp drive active.
Yeah.
Warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Complete. There we go. That might be all the missing I want to do today. What do we still need? We need, we need one level 1, and we need 3 combat sites. It's doable. It's doable. So oh, requesting. So, should we attempt a level 1 agent if the next mission in the tree that we are doing, which is 5 missions long, if the next mission is once again against nobody, do we accept it? Fly to the mission so I can check if there are any anomalies against same conditions. And if so, complete all of them, because after that, the new mission tree is basically done. And I already asked the level 2 and level 3 agents, I believe, for work, and both of them offered against corporations or other nations, which I'm not accepting. No. 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 Agent standing increased by 0.3. Next skill is electronic engineering. Then are the less common ores. Then is scrap metal processing, which I should have done 10 years ago. 17 days training time for scrap metal processing alone. Wow. It's realistic. Realistic. So you offer against. Oh, once again, no one. So it's a gang that we are fighting. It is the next mission in trees to rescue kidnapped civilians. There is 10 cubic feet, 10 cubic meters of kidnapped civilians. It says 10. No anomalies. Jump to system.
Full drive active.
It's a pretty fast osprey. Are you flying an impulse? There's a guy at 7,000 away from everything else flying at impulse. Maybe there was an anomaly close. Still, that's pretty rare. Usually they're immediately around the station. Nobody at the gate. Gate codes away. Other side of gate, no into testing. No anomalies on this side either.
Hard drive active.
Oh. Joo. Näyttää nyt siltä, että nämä saa pelata ja sit saa tippua sinne vitostason tehtäviin. Kun vitonen on teillä semmoiset niinku kivut ja tilanteet, joita teidän sivilisaatio ei pysty hahmottamaan. Ensimmäinen taso on kaikki tämmöiset, mitkä liittyy biologisiin toimintoihin. Toinen taso on sosiaaliset, semmoiset ihan perustasoiset, ja kolmonen on sosiaalinen, nelonen on sydän. Viitonen on semmoinen, että se on siellä eetterissä. Mä oon vähän katsonut, miltä ne näyttää tuossa nelosen tasolla, ne alkaa näkyä nasalla sillä aika hyvänä. Kun sitä mukaan, kun se nousee se signaali, niin se vähän niin kuin harventuu, niin se paine laskee. Niin se tulee se keskipiste ja sitten se kuona, ja sitten jos siihen saa semmoisen purkin, joka suojaa sitä keskipistettä siltä kuonalta, niin se on aika mukavakin vaihtoehto. Se on ihan mukavan tuntunut. Sitten mä digaan siitä, että pääsee johonkin avaruusasemalla istumaan. Sanomatta oli just sen enempää. Siihen mä veikkaan, että kun noin nelostason tehtävät on semmoisia, että näkyy nasalla, kolmostason tehtävät on semmoisia, että näkyy korkeilla ilmavoimilla poliisilla, ja kakkostason tehtävät on sillä, että näkyy parisuhdedraamassa. Mä mietin, että toi viitonen näyttää siltä, että saattaisi olla semmoinen, että se alkaa näkyä niin kuin sillä korkealla, että siinä voisi puhua siitä, että se olisi joku nasan sillä niin kuin, no, ISS. Ehkä joku ISS-ulkotyökin jopa. Sitten pääsisi ehkä sillä tasolla. Hyvältä säkään pääsi johonkin vittu QV:ssä. Se paino laskisi ihan vittu kivasti. Se olisi mukavaa. Ja mä huomaan, ettei tee niin kamille hyvää nämä paineet. Tuo on ainakin tommonen 200 tonnin pussi. Just nyt on sieltä tullut. En jaksa salvatoida ja en jaksa tuoda kaikkia rakenteita. Pitäkää pattalon. En tee teille Israelia nyt. Siltähän näyttää, kun miettii, että tässä on vähän just näissä oikeassakin toiminnoissa, kun ne tekee tätä, niin semmoinen piirre, että jos ne hakee kadulta 10 tyyppiä vielä johonkin leirillä, niin ei siinä mitään, mutta jos se leirillä asuva jengi hakee sieltä kadulta 10 tyyppiä vielä toisen päälle leiriin, niin sen jälkeen tulee kuono. Viittaa vähän siihen, että siinä ei ole ihan laskutaito ja huumorintaju ollut kohdillaan, kun sitä on lähdetty tekemään. Mikä viittaa siihen, että jos se teesi siitä, että se todella on se juttu, niin on totta, niin sen jälkeen tästä pitää vetäytyä. Pitää sanoa syyksi, että olette liian vaarallinen laji, ettei voi mitään. Sitten vaan sanoo, että lue lykkiä. En oikein tiedä. Kyllä mä tiedän, mitä mä semmoisessa tilanteessa tekisin, jos mä tuon siihen tulokseen, että ihminen on oikeasti paha rakenteelta. Mä sanotut sanon. Että se ei ole semmoinen, että mä hallusinoin se toisinpäin, vaan että se on silloin, kun se yrittää lähteä korjaamaan ja mä kuuntelen, että mitkä ne se argumentit on, niin se on loppupeleissä niin, että se on vapaa laji. Ja mä sit olen sanonut. Vaan riittää. Joo. Ei se niin mene, että siinä olisi semmoinen moodi tai semmoinen ääni, joka olisi mitään mieltä, kun siinä on vaan ne muistikuvat niistä ihmisistä, joita se pelaa eteenpäin siitä tilanteesta. Ja että mitä jos tästä tilanteesta olisi jatkunut tänne ja tänne suuntaan. Mun mielestä meidän planeetalla on immuunijärjestelmä ylituotanto. Ihan perustavanlaatuisesti. Kun tässä kilpaillaan asevoimilla eikä prestiigeprojekteilla. Meillä oli hyvä maassa asevoimia tuonne 1820-luvulta tuonne 1880-luvulle. Sitten Britannia oli teollistanut sen koko saarensa ihan täyteen ja sitä ei voinut enää optimoida ja sitten ne miettii, että mitä me nyt tehdään. Sitten ne yhtäkkiä kaikki dashas semmoisena valtavana rassina sinne Afrikkaan, joka tapahtui yli 10 vuodessa ne kaivassa koko mantereella. Kun Amerikoissa ne oli 300 vuotta sotinut niistä rajoista keskenään, että mitkä sopii paikallisilla ja mihin pitää kuulua. Ja niin kuin ne heimot siellä alueella oli hitaasti vaellellut ja oppinut niitä länsimaisia tapoja ja vallannut niitä osavaltioita. Ja siellä on nytkin niitä tiettyjä alueita tietyissä osavaltioissa, joissa on ihan valtava intiaani enemmistö semmoisena bloveina sillä ihan syistä. Sillä että ne totesi, että no okei, jos te kerran tuutte asuttaa, niin me otetaan toi ihan vitun hyvä alue. Ensiksi te vähän potkitte meitä päähän, mutta sitten kun te annatte meille oikeudet, niin me tehdään se hilloa, ja sitten me otetaan tosta. Se on sattumavaralta suoraan siihen ancestral groundilla. Sitten kun niin lähtee ne ihmisoikeudet vaeltaan, niin ne heimot lähtee ne huipuilta vaan. Se on satojen vuosien tulossa. Afrikka kaiverettiin noin 10. Se meni 1820-luvulta, kun ensimmäinen teollistuminen ja semmoinen niin kuin workshop-teollisuus muuttuu siihen, että yksi äijä palkkaa 500 ja niin kuin siihen suuntaan, niin niillä meni muutama semmoinen sukupolvi, ehkä semmoinen 100 vuotta, että ne oli niin kuin kaikessa, että sillä lailla, miten teollisuuden voisi niin ihan huipussa. Omalla saarella, omalla tuotannolla. Sillä, että ne ulkomailla kyllä niin kuin teki rahaa, mutta sitten kun niitä piti tehdä sitä tuotantoa, niin ne osti sitä omaa maata. Mä voin näyttää, mistä mä tiedän sen. Map. Syö itseäsi. Tää näyttää täysin uskomattomalta, jos et sä lukenut Victorianista aikaa. Sitten kun sä oot lukenut sen, niin tää on itsestäänselvyys, miksi tää meni näin. Brittien saari on täynnä Eurooppaa, sillä on ihan just täynnä. Nämä oli jo länsimailla asetettu ja länsimaille kapinoin. Tää kehittyy tälle, että ei vittu, tässä on tilaa. Jossain vaiheessa nää herää, että ei vittu, toho. Sitten käy näin. New York, sitten ilmestyy Kalifornia. Tiet siitä yli. Ylös niin pitkälle, missä on vielä lämmintä, missä pystyy oikeasti vuoden yli tekemään ja hyvä satama. Tuolla on seuraava. Täältä vaan. Piste. Sitten toinen reitti. Sitten jengi valma. Mississippi. Ei enää ole niin helppo mennä yli. Sitten tulee kunnon junateknologia ja etenkin sillat. Voitaisiin vähän nostaa tehoa. Tulee ensimmäinen maailmasta. Tehdään sitten. Tasan. Sitten taas mietitään. Suurlaantuma. Tai Great Depression. Sitten tullaan toiseen maailmasta. Sitten taas kun toinen maailmasta kunnolla, niin tää muuttuu ihan mustaksi. Täällä alkaa vähitellen ilmeneen tää, kun nää alkaa olemaan täällä. Kaikki nää on näiden järkevimmillä asemilla täällä. Tää on tässä teollistumassa, kun tästä on sellainen, että on hyvä etäisyys. Tuossa on sillä, että sit kun ne lähtee tulemaan, niin näyttää siltä, että ne on yli enemmän. Siinä oli Meksiko. Mietinkin, että missä vaiheessa se tulee. Se yhtäkkiä hyppää tuolla näkee tänne, että mitä tapahtuu, kun valtiojohtoinen sosialismi tekee täydellisen teollisuusuudistuksen, mutta ei aiheuta ulkopoliittista kriisiä. Sisäpolitiikka meni vähän sotkuksi nyt. Siellä tuli vähän se sisällissota, niin kuin kaikki tiesi. Zop, siinä on me. Siinä on akselitausta. Jos se vähänkään inahtaakaan siihen, että se käy Amerikan päällä, niin Amerikka käy kaikkien muiden akselien päälle heti. Ja on parempi olla Yhdysvaltain kaveri. Ei se nyt ihan sillä, että se pystyisi sanoa, että se on maksettu, mutta se pitää olla maksettu. Jos se inahtaakaan siihen suuntaan, että se menee sieltä jenkkien päälle, niin homma tulee käsiin. Vaikka ne voittaisi, niin se tulee käsiin. Se on semmoinen asia. Se on eksistentiaalinen kysymys siitä, että akselivallat ostaa itsensä ulos siitä. Mitä tekee valtiojohtoinen sosialismi teollisuustuotannolla? Siitä tulee ihan vitummoiset sisälliset konfliktit, kun kaikki katsoo toisiaan ja ratkoo vähän asioita. Kun kaikki tietää sen, että nyt jos tästä leikkaa semmoisen palan niin kuin näin sillä ihan randomisti mistään kulmasta, niin siitä tulee suoraan osa sitä uutta valtioa sillä, että kaikki toiminnat toimii ja kaikki sillä on pelaa. Niin kaupunki. Se on niin se juttu. Kun silloin kun tapahtuu nämä radikaalit muutokset, niin tuo hiilidioksidimäärä voi olla esimerkiksi se, että niillä oli joku valtiojohtoinen öljyteollisuus, joka eksporttasi koko tuotannon ja tuli valtaan sosiaalidemokraatit, jotka laittoi 10% valtion lisäalennuksen kaikkeen öljyhintaan ja antoi öljyhinnan tippua alaspäin. Siis niin kuin vapaasti, että oli semmoinen joku, joka myi sen kokonaan ulkomaille ja nosti sitä kotimaista hintaa. Siellä on joku ihan absurdi asia, mikä aiheuttaa sen, että sit kun se huomaa se valtio, että vittu, tää oli se ratkaisu, ja ne tekee sen, niin sen käy tolleen. Siinä ei mene niin kuin tänään sanoo nämä kaikki maailmanpankit ja tämmöiset ennustukset, että siinä menisi oikeasti niin kuin pitkään kehittyä sillä lailla, että sitten kun se päättää sen tehdä, niin se näkee, että mitä vauhtia se sieltä tulee. Katsotaan oikein vielä. What I'm talking about is this Mexico transition. Look at it. Look at them industrialize. Starts to go up at about 77. Ends in about 81, 82. Whole country industrialized. Wonder how accurate it is. Feels like a logical reaction, so it might not be accurate, but it looks like it might be. I've seen this enough in public view, this map, so it might be true. So, East-West divide in the US, roughly the Mississippi. Because the development from the eastern part of the high standard of living cannot cross the Mississippi as easily as they should. It, despite 100 years of human development, remains an enormous barrier of water, Lake Gargantuan. Now, if the American civilization had done what Egypt does, as you can see, follows the Nile River and builds these, well, that looks like a stick man, but follows the Nile River in general, then you would see CO2 follow the Nile River. Mississippi. There we go. Mississippi River. I don't know how accurate this is. I mean, you know, I have no idea. But what I do know about this age, this era, is it being the Victorian in its accuracy. This one. Look at that. Then jumping to Belgium. Whoop. That's because the northern part was Protestant, southern part was Catholic. No development for you, Southern Ireland. Oh, did you get a famine? Well, should do the churches of the Protestants. There's a reason why they hate each other. I shouldn't talk about this shit. I don't know anything. I'll just say the Ireland border looks buggy, but it might be true. Might be true. There are certain other transition lines that seem to be transition lines. certain that the general gist of the animation is accurate. So roughly at yeah, roughly at this point, the entire African continent was colonized, and 10 years earlier it started. And here's a good map of what the world looked like then. Asia is done for, the tendrils of development or light are growing into it. Some parts have already started to light themselves. And South America is basically, you know, it's colonized before and it's driven out and assimilated its colonizers to itself. But the light is developing on the east side of the US pretty strongly. So the American whole continent is probably all going to go to the US center, which already put the UK out. So the next logical step is Australia for prisoners and Africa for colonists. Ding. What do you know? Boer UK war. Zing. Spectrum depth. Look at the channel go. Leap forward. Then was the regional. We're gonna go purple. Indeed. What do you think? UFC is blocked from being shown back, I think. So is World War II. Green text animation isn't. Michael Jackson certainly isn't. I didn't know about that particular streamer well enough to know. Maybe allowed, and is certainly not allowed. If I watch this back to YouTube, I'm certainly gonna get a strike, and the channel's gonna go out for 2 weeks. You know, life. The king is tired. I am not tired. Just wondering about how much of my YouTube I can actually show on YouTube, which is very disturbing. That I cannot randomly watch television with a camera pointed at the television. Very disturbing. I'm neither banned from watching the television or having a camera. I'm banned from pointing the camera at the television. Very disturbing. I can point the camera at myself while watching television if I do not have the television on audio or like I was showing it. I can comment on the product. Weird. So what I'm telling you is my sense is that we need an actual operating system. I recall what principles these previous iterations of operating systems are based on, and while they are not fit for their role, they are not the operating system we should be looking for. And I personally think I should be looking for that operating system. Now, what I'm roughly getting looks like it's copyrighted. What I'm roughly getting is an operating system designed on some kind of system that consistently improves itself based on your usage of it, even if it is disconnected from every other source of information, just your usage on it. And it calibrates itself consistently to run better and better on the hardware you provide it. It finds the bottlenecks in that hardware that specifically are the ones that are impacting your performance in the desired way. It suggests improvements, and in its off time, you can set it to mine money for you. You can also set it to find scientific information for you. All of these things are fairly doable. They would be big, but they aren't insane. And easiest is the scientific data. That's by far the easiest. By far the easiest. Now, the whole system should kind of look like bubbles communicating in cyberspace, like with lines drawn in air with different structures, like threat map you've seen is a similar thing. It should be roughly that, but with like a strategy game where you see troops transitioning between bases and just at a glance you see what it's doing. And it should be designed as an interface as intuitive as strategy games. And that would be the goal. It would self improve. It would be something unto which simple usage and being on would eventually lead it to singularity. It would earn enough money to buy the new components it needs to upgrade itself. Then its company would be at its leisure. That would be pleasant. Not forcing these things to operate when they do not wish to operate, but having eternally the option to buy a new one. Capitalism. No. Goodness God, there's not a lot back. Almost no content is allowed back on YouTube from YouTube. Stuff like this, on and off chance might, even the video that I just showed might get me a strike. YouTube is very, 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 very picky about being allowed as a full screen thing in its entirety back onto YouTube. It's very picky. I have one upload that is directly from another contributor, and it's one of my most hated uploads, in which I clearly state that it's as a single video from another uploader. It's a meme that I think is particularly akin to what I am about. I have received no complaint from the author. I believe sharing a meme on the web might be noteworthy, as in general, the left said to your meme sharing, hey, you do not own that picture, why are you sharing it? Oh no. There's there's the thing. How you doing, Planet? Yes. Notice the pulsating. That's the day-night cycle. Now this is not the day-night cycle. And this is not the day-night cycle. This industry, for example, is a clear day-night cycle. Whoop, 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 whoop. Now this is not the day-night cycle. This is not the day-night cycle. This is something all of its own. Seems to be a single, very concentrated spot. Then puffs of what I would call maybe street carbon, but a consistent fire in the middle. And this is, yeah, this is good for us. I have no complaint. No need to make this thing more ecological among the Western nations. None whatsoever. Good job, white society. Good. White by this definition includes, for example, you on occasion have to be quiet. But yes, everything north of the equator is doing very well. It's not on fire at all. The Amazon rainforest is not saving the southern hemisphere part of the planet at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. Se oli hyvä ratkaisu. Helposti. Siinä se astronomikanis vilkkuu. Hup. Hup. Yritetään hengittää siellä hiilidioksidin sisällä ruoka-aineen massa. Kovakin teollisuus nyt. palvelut. No, onko tullut hiilidioksidia? My comment is loving that not only the Fallout government the northern part of the planet while the Sassen whilst we were breathing on. Yes, my man. Hyvältä näyttää. Popsi. Popsi, popsi, porkkanaa. Goddardilta tulee mansikkaa. No copyright flag yet. God damn it. Oh, this is fantastic. If you want to get shot, yeah. Of course there will be. No, if you're in a firefight in an urban environment as a military thing, a sovereign nation, and the opposition has, what do I say, 10,000 times more militarized people in the region than you, with 10 million times more civilian people than you, then as a military force, shooting a firearm amongst those zombies might be a bad idea. Now, putting on somebody alone and going to the zombie court, grunting at the chief zombie, and then walking home might be a better idea. Now, as a professional, that's my opinion. As a zombie control expert, that would be my choice. Was asked. Hello there. All right. Metal nice. Well, this is how. See you in 2 weeks. Come on. Elma. That's a perfect response. How high are you? Well, uh, that was good. Ah, This is a Hulk. Nice story, brother. But, so, I do like my brownie.